This GP-10 guitar processor from Boss will totally transform the sound that comes from your guitar. It can emulate all sorts of classic electric guitars, acoustic guitars, bass. It can even sound like a banjo or a sitar, all sorts of possibilities. You can emulate analog synths. You can do various alternate tunings like Dad-Gad or Drop D, which is of particular interest to me, is what I'll be using. It has full-featured multi-effects processing that you can use. A huge selection of COSM amps and effects that you can use for live gigging or recording. Speaking of recording, it has a USB port that you can put right into your DAW on your computer and capture the sound right out of the unit. You can play computer-based soft synths with latency that, as I understand it, is not too bad. We'll have to give it a shot and see if it actually is usable or not. There's a website called the Tone Central here, BossToneCentral.com. It has all sorts of gig-ready patches that you can download and use in the unit. You do need a compatible GK style pickup, and you can order this processor with or without the GK3. This one does have the GK3, and we'll be looking at installing it on an acoustic electric guitar a little bit later. The unit is about 8 inches by 4 inches in size and weighs just a little over 4 pounds. So not too bad. Alright, let's take a look at what's inside. Okay, when we first open the box, they have a description of all the various contents that are in it. You can see it here. We've got the GP-10, a set of manuals, an AC adapter, and like I said, I did order the one with the GK3, so it comes with a whole bunch of GK3 things, including a couple holders and accessories. There'll be some double stick tape, GK3 manual, and the GK cable, which is 3 meters in length. Let me go ahead and remove the items from the box here and see what we have. There is the manuals, obviously. Our AC adapter. It looks like a nice long cord. Here is our GP-10 right here. And I imagine this will be the Gk3 pickup. Alright, let's go ahead and remove the bag from the GP-10. That is nice and small, good form factor. Typical instruction manual here. And more interestingly, let's look at the Gk3. This looks like the control unit that has a dial and some switches. Mounting hardware. And looks like a cable, double stick tape, a bracket, and here is the cable. Let's look at the parts included in the Gk3 kit. You have this screw for installing the controller. These two screws are for installing the divided pickup if you choose to screw it into the wood of your guitar. These two springs are for installing the divided pickup. This double-sided tape is for installing the controller. And if you don't want to screw the pickup into the wood of your guitar, they also include two different styles of double-sided tape. This is considered tape B, and this is considered tape C. This is the bracket holder for the controller, and you also get a short length of 1/4 inch guitar cable. These parts are the pickup cushions. You get 4 of those. And next we have 3 different thicknesses of pickup spacers. You get 2 of these really thick ones, 3 of these medium-sized ones, and 4 of these very thin ones. And we'll put these underneath the pickup to maintain the correct height between the strings and the pickup. This bracket here is called holder B, and it is used to attach the control unit to the in pin of your guitar. This device here is the clearance gauge, and we'll use it to measure to make sure we have the right distance between the strings and the coils of the pickup. Here are 2 cushions for attaching the holder A. a cap nut for attaching holder B, a spring washer for attaching holder B, and a flat washer for attaching holder B. This is a pickup holder, which is an alternative way to mount the pickup on your guitar. I will not be using it. We have two rubber sheets for attaching the divided pickup to the pickup holder. Don't know if you can see it or not, but here is a clear rubber tube that is used for attaching the pickup to the pickup holder. Two screws for attaching the divided pickup to the pickup holder. And these two flat washers are used for attaching the pickup holder to the guitar. Let's look at a close-up of the GK3 control unit. This is the volume knob. This is the GK connector. This is a normal 1/4 inch pickup input jack. This is a selector switch. This is a down switch. This is an up switch. We have a power indicator light here. Let's look at a close-up of the divided pickup. You'll notice right here in the middle is a very small screw. It's an adjustment screw, so you can match the curvature of your fingerboard. Your strings will have a slight curvature as well, and this adjustment screw will help match that. The manual tells you to consult your guitar manufacturer for the specifications of that curvature of your fingerboard. Here is the GK3 connection cable. You'll notice it's 13 pins on each end. And this is what you connect the GK control unit on the guitar to the back of the GP-10. Now, when connecting this cable, you want to make sure that the volumes are turned down and devices are powered off before making any connection. Let's take a look at the front panel of the GP-10. This is the volume control knob to set the overall output level. You can cycle through the banks in decreasing fashion here and increasing here. I believe there's 99 presets that you can select. Each preset has a couple control attributes that you can activate with these switches 1 and 2. If you make changes to a particular patch, here's a right button that stores it. You can cycle through various settings and menus and options with these arrow keys and the patch value selector here. Of course, there's an exit button. These 3 buttons are where you can set the modeling, if you're going to use electric guitar, acoustic guitar, bass guitar, or set the alternate tuning that you wish to use. Here's where you can adjust the various effects that are possible, and this is the main system menu where you can set all sorts of system parameters, the setup of the GK3 and such. Here is your volume control or expression pedal right here. Let's take a look at the back of the GP-10. Over here we've got the 13-pin GK cable right here. We've got a 1/4 inch guitar input. If you're going to just output from your guitar directly into the unit, you can do that. An output 1/4 inch that just has unprocessed guitar audio. The processed guitar audio comes out of here, either a left mono channel or a stereo left and right 1/4 inch. Got an 1/8 inch headphone jack right here, an 1/8 inch auxiliary in for things like your MP3 player if you wanted. Got this extra control jack here if you're going to use maybe an external expression or volume control pedal. Here, of course, is your USB 2.0 connector, power switch right here, and of course your DC input. The first thing we need to do before installing our divided pickup is to adjust it to match the curvature of the fretboard of your guitar. My guitar is about a 400R, which corresponds to a 16-inch radius circle curvature. Some guitars can be like a 184R, which is around 7 1/4 inch curvature. And shipped in its default position is the more flatter setting, so it's more at a 400R, so I actually will not have to adjust it to match. But if you need to, there is a very small screw here that if you turn it, it will adjust these pickups to match the natural curvature of the strings. Now we need to attach the pickup to our guitar. Boss gives us 3 different methods for attaching the pickup. The first is double stick tape, and that's the method I will be using. Or they do give wood screws if you were going to screw it into your solid body wood guitar. or they have this bracket right here if it is the type that will fit into your bridge, which mine will not. So we will be using the double-sided tape. We first need to figure out where we are going to position the pickup in relation to the bridge. Now, Boss suggests on an acoustic guitar like this that the pickup should be about 15 millimeters from the edge of the bridge and no more than 20. So to help facilitate this, I've printed out a perfectly measured 15 millimeter strip here on my computer that will serve as a guide for me to know how to line up the pickup. So I've cut out my strip of paper here at 15 millimeters that I'll use as a guide, and I'll position it right here next to the bridge. I position the pickup next to it and check its fit and placement. Now you do want to note the cord does come off of the E string, your low E string, or the 6th string of your guitar, so the orientation would be like this. The next thing we need to do is figure out which of the included spacers we wish to put under the pickup to bring it to the right height below the strings. I'll first try the thickest spacer to see how that fits. So I'm going to slide it underneath the pickup and attempt. I can't even slide it underneath the string, so I would say that one is too thick, so we'll discard that one. I'll now try the medium-sized spacer. And I do see that fits underneath now. But you need to use the included tool to measure the distance below the string. Now here's where you could use a helper to push on the string, start with the high E string at the highest fret that you'll play, and push on it and measure the distance below the string. And there's still a little bit of a gap. Let's check the low E string. And there's quite a bit of distance there. So I think I'm going to try to add one more of the thin spacers in addition to this medium-sized spacer. So I'll just temporarily hold them like this and see how that works. I see it still fits underneath the strings. Let's see what that thickness looks like. That looks to be about perfect. I believe the thickness of this gauge is 1 millimeter. Now let's check the low string here. Make sure you're holding it in the approximate place as to where it'll be. It should be noted that the GK3 kit comes with 4 of these cushions. If you're going to be using a archtop guitar, you can use these underneath the pickup to kind of counteract that curvature of the archtop. I won't be using those since I have flat top. The instructions actually say that you can remove all the strings from your guitar and then attach the pickup with the double-sided tape and the sticky-sided spacers. But I'm not going to do that because I think it's going to be easier to be able to see where to line up the pickup as it sets underneath each string. There's little magnetic pads, one for each string, on the pickup, and you want to put them below each string. If you are going to remove all the strings, you'll need to mark with temporary tape precisely where you want the pickup to set. So our first step will be taking double-sided tape B, which has 4 of these, and removing 2 of them and placing them on the underneath side of the pickup. So I went ahead and successfully got the pickup attached underneath the strings here. And in fact, I went ahead and plugged the GK3 into the GP-10 and tried it out just temporarily to make sure I was happy with the placement and the sensitivity of the strings. If I had it to do over again, I would probably rather have had one more additional of the thin spacers underneath there. The sensitivity of my two low strings here was not as good as it should have been. Fortunately, the GP-10 gives you a sensitivity adjustment per string, and so I just increased the sensitivity on those two strings a little bit. I'll be playing it this way, and if I need to adjust it in the future, there are provisions to gently pull the pickup off and insert some new spacers to adjust the height. So the remaining task will be to mount the control unit onto the guitar. They give you a couple different ways of doing that with this bracket and this clip here using your end pin, but that isn't going to really work for me because of the way my end pin is here on this Breedlove guitar. So I'm going to go ahead and use the alternate approach, which is more double-sided tape. These tape pieces right here, the one that has 3 per sheet. So you need to figure out where you want to put the GK3 control unit so it is not in your way. So I don't want it up here. I don't even really want it over here because I have a bad habit of resting my arm on this part of the guitar a lot. So I'm going to bring it down as much as I can here where the cable is tucked nicely out of the way. You do want to be able to reach the controls and the volume knob here while you're playing though, so you do want a good orientation. I think I would like right there. So let's go ahead and secure it with this double-sided tape. There we go. We have it securely attached to the guitar. Now they do say over time that tape may loosen, and I could see that happening, especially on a hot day in the sun. So I'll have to keep an eye on that and figure out if I have to use a stickier tape or not. Okay, now that we got the control unit securely attached, the final thing to do is connect the cables. You connect the shortened 1/4 inch cable from the control unit to your audio output on your guitar, just like that. And then all you have to do is connect the 13-pin cable into the back of the GP-10 right here and into the control unit right there. And you have successfully installed a GK3 into a GP-10.